So today I'm at Fort Richardson Cemetery because today is Memorial Day and they're having a Memorial Day ceremony. Now, most of you who know me and have been following my history journey for the last decade or so know that most days are a reason for me to celebrate Memorial Day. Honoring the fallen is something that motivates me to keep going in my pursuit of history. And you may also know that I love a good challenge, and so a ceremony or a visit to the cemetery on a warm spring Anchorage day seems too easy. So I want to show you what it looks like to honor the fallen in the middle of winter. But first, my name is Karen, and I have been retracing my grandfather's wartime footsteps through some of the most remote areas of Alaska, the Aleutian Islands, all in an effort to honor his service and the service of those he served with. If you want to know more about this mysterious and forgotten conflict in one of the most spectacular places on Earth, then stick around. So our mission today is to place poppies on the gravestones of the Canadians who were lost during the Aleutian campaign. I'm here with my friend Christy.
Hello.
Christy's a retired U.S. Air Force intelligence lieutenant colonel, and she's always willing and up for an adventure. She was one of my guides on for our 2021 ADAC history expeditions. One of the challenges we have, Anchorage has received over 82 inches of snow. That's almost 7 feet of snow. And so you can see the grave markers are over here. Just see the tops of the headstones, and we're gonna break a trail in there. Christy has found some like snowshoe tracks. I'm gonna go in behind her. I just step lightly in these snowshoe tracks. It's okay. Fell through several.
Yeah, if you don't hit it just right, it'll be safe.
Slow and steady. Oh, the shovel, no? You got a poppy?
Yeah, so how do you want them on there?
Well, we can either lay them right on the top.
Oh, that was a lot easier to read. This one's really hard to read.
Gaston Beauclair, he was killed on Kiska. Regiment de Hull.
This is Regiment de Hull de Jardin. September. Looks like September. He died on September 28th. Yeah, September 28th.
Yep, he was also 14th Fighter Squadron. That would have been right after they got to UMAC, yep. So, interesting thing about Dean Whiteside is Dean Whiteside is actually from Kansas, and he was an American who came to Canada to fly, 1941. He was one of the guys who was in the formation of 7 that crashed on Alaska Mountain. And I believe I have his sunglasses from the crash.
Really? You found them there?
My friend had found them about, what would have been about 13 years ago, because he went to the crash site. He broke them in half. He left half there, brought half back, and then I met him in 2017. Was telling him the story, and then they gave me the glasses.
Oh, wow.
And so just recently, in doing some research, I found a picture of Dean Whiteside sitting in his P40 with the glasses on.
Really?
And as soon as I saw it, I went, I got this weird tingly sensation, like all over, and I went, those are his. Those are his glasses. I go, I got you, Dean. I'm gonna tell your story. And then yesterday, I found a picture of Dean and my grandfather.
Oh, did you?
And he's wearing he's wearing sunglasses in my grandfather's collection.
Oh, wow.
I know. Unearthing more and more stuff.
This is Stanley Ray Maxman.
Stan Maxman. One of the other 5 pilots who crashed on Alaska.
July 16th, 1942.
Yep. So this is Pop Lennon, and Pop went to flight school with my grandfather. That's what they called him, Pop. I have some great pictures of him that my grandfather took of Pop, and I think it was Ed Merkley. Ed died in Europe flying Spitfires. Pop is in a hammock, and they're somewhere in Ontario having a very leisurely time taking a break from flight school. And so Pop was one of the 5 pilots who crashed on Alaska Mountain July 16th, 1942. And actually I believe Pop is American. So it's just one of a lot of Americans, because they weren't in the war. The pilots came over to fly for the Royal Canadian Air Force, and he was one of them. Pop, I got you, brother. So Kerwin, interesting that his headstone is different. He was a squadron leader, flight lead. He was also a Battle of Britain veteran, who they sent him up here, I guess. They thought to give him a break. Some break. Whew. Mission complete. Now the trek out. Oh, that wasn't it. I'm definitely in up to my knees. I'm gonna have to break a new trail. I can't get back to the snowshoe trail. Hey, this is nothing to what they did on Attu, tromping through the snow like that, getting shot at up 3,000-foot mountains. carrying all their guns and heavy equipment. I'm pretty sure that I can walk through, you know, deep snow to lay some poppies in their honor. Sure, easy part. Okay, I made it on top of the snowshoe trail. I'm not sinking. Oh, shit. Just kidding. It's centered. If you, the caretaker of this, the caretaker of the cemetery has clearly snowshoed in, and what he does is he clears the back of the gravestones so you can see what plot people are buried in. So we were using his snowshoe trail, which is compacted, so it's easier to walk in. But if you don't put your foot exactly right, you sink. Oh, shit. Like that. I try to come by and visit the cemetery at least once a year to lay some poppies, pay my respects to my grandfather's squadron mates who did not survive the Aleutian campaign, particularly the 5 airmen who he was flying with and the ones who crashed into the mountain on Naknek. I will leave. My first few videos are about me retracing that flight, and I talk a little bit about them, so I'll leave a link in the description below if you want to know more about them. We are off now to find Kermit Roosevelt's plot. And then we'll talk a little bit about Kermit Roosevelt and why Theodore Roosevelt's second son is buried in Alaska. We are going to walk over to plot number A22. So who is buried in plot A22 but Kermit Roosevelt? Now, why is Kermit Roosevelt buried in Alaska? Most people know who Kermit Roosevelt is from his famous father, President Theodore Roosevelt. Kermit is Theodore's second son. He's probably most known for accompanying his father on his famous River of Doubt expedition, as well as his 1909 Africa expedition. But Kermit also saw service in World War II, actually with the British Army. When the U.S. entered the war, he transferred service and served as an American soldier. After the war was over, he started the Roosevelt Steamship Company. He battled quite significantly from alcoholism and depression. When World War II broke out, with the help of his father and his then longtime friend Winston Churchill, he rejoined the British Army, and he was sent up to Norway to fight in the Battle of Norvik. After Norvik, he was sent to North Africa, where there was a little bit less action going on at the time. Eventually, though, he was medically discharged. He came back to the U.S., a broken man, very upset, and alcoholism got the best of him. Now, his wife Bella got very worried about him and reached out to his then cousin and president, Franklin Roosevelt, who decided to commission him as a major and send him up to Alaska to be an intelligence officer with the Alaska Defense Command. While he was here, he is rumored to have some part in the development of the Alaska Territorial Guard. Now, the Alaska Territorial Guard is an incredible command that was developed consisting of local Alaskan natives that spanned the coastline from the Aleutian Islands all the way up to Barrow. It consisted of 20,000 Native Alaskans, 4,000 of them armed, that were trained in how to defend the continent and how to do reconnaissance. that was really the brainchild of Marvin Muktuk Marston. I'm not really sure exactly what part Kermit played in it, and it's actually hard to find information on it. But that's something that I'm still researching. So, unfortunately, alcoholism and depression did get the best of Kermit Roosevelt, and he committed suicide on June 4th, 1943. And since his father said, "Where you fall, you lie," he remained here, buried at the Fort Richardson National Cemetery. And there's another thing I bet you didn't know about World War II in Alaska. I hope you enjoyed getting to know the Fort Richardson National Cemetery and just a few of the interesting folks that are buried in here that you may not have realized. If you enjoyed this video and you want to learn more about the war in Alaska or follow me on some of my crazy adventures in the pursuit of history through some of the most spectacular landscapes, then please subscribe and follow along. See you next week. They just had Wreaths Across America, and that's where the National Cemetery, everyone gets a wreath. And apparently the Allies and Canadians didn't get one. Yeah. I'm gonna have to fix that. I'm just thinking, yeah, we're gonna have to fix that. We are going to have to fix that. For the angels, the RCF angels. Yes, brown snow angel.
She's gonna make one.
I'm scared. Ready?
We're filming. Oh, that's all right. You didn't sink too far. Oh, that looks nice.
I think I got whiplash.